On the news, President Buhari wants EFCC against political interference. Court dismisses state suit challenging deduction of $418 million Paris Club refund. And INEC suspends action in Oboyi over conflicting court judgments. We're glad to have you join us for news now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. President Muhammadu Buhari has warned the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to avoid being used for partisan politics in its operations. The president will give the warning at the unveiling of the EFCC Standard Operating Procedures, Policies and Manuals at the State House, urged the Commission to focus on serving the nation and entrenching good governance. He also advised leaders and all operatives of the Commission to resist the temptation of being influenced by political actors for personal gains. In his remarks, the chairman of the EFCC, Abdulrasheed Bawa, explained that the institution was undergoing various phases of reforms to reposition it for the task of fighting financial crimes in the country with the production of policies and manuals. Speaking further, Bawa revealed that a mobile app coined the Evil Eye has been deployed for ease of reporting economic and financial crimes from the comfort of homes.
Last year alone, we secured an unprecedented 2,220 convictions, the highest in the history of the EFCC. And we have recovered also within the same period 152 billion and 385 million United States dollars. Your Excellency, invited guests, this feat is an incentive for us to do more, and we are at crucial junction in the evolution of the EFCC.
We have ensured the operational independence of the anti-graft agencies, strengthened the legal framework, empowered the regulatory agencies, and provided adequate funding to support the fight against corruption. We have also elicited integrity and impartiality in government business consistent with our aspiration for a corrupt-free Nigeria. I must advise the leadership and operatives of this administration to resist the temptation of being used to partisan politics or be dragged into personal disputes. Your job is to serve the nation in the efforts to entrench good governance.
President Muhammadu Buhari has urged leaders and members of the All Progressives Congress, APC, to avoid squabbling that could cause distractions ahead of the party's coming elections. The president, who made the call when he received the APC National Assembly leadership in the State House, Abuja, on Thursday, urged them to channel their energies towards improving the fortunes of the party. The president said he met with the governors and the party national chairmanship aspirants on Wednesday to reiterate the need to go into the convention with a united front.
The limited time frame of the INEC timetable does not permit us any room for delay or further squabbling. We must therefore, in the light of this reality, consistently keep our eyes on the ball and refuse any distraction. Distinguished senators and honorable members, we have an obligation to conduct the upcoming convention in a manner that not only fortifies the unity of our party, but also improves the prospects of our electoral fortunes in the 2023 general elections. We have an important role to play in ensuring that this happens. A zoning template was produced and adopted by the party after wide consultation in order to ensure that the leadership of our party is reflective of our diversity in unity while representing our collective various dynamic interests. It is imperative that we adhere to that template.
The Senate President, who spoke to State House correspondents at the end of the meeting, said the National Assembly had also resolved to work towards the emergence of consensus candidates to ensure smooth convention.
We have 22 states and control the federal government. That requires that APC as a political party remains very focused, energetic, and purposeful as it has always been. This convention, by way of emphasis, is a very important convention for us in APC, and by the grace of God, through our processes and procedures at different levels of the party, the convention would be a very successful one, very peaceful one. We hope that we would have achieved so much consensus in selecting and electing the officers for this party, so that when we go into the convention, most of the officers should be for affirmation or confirmation.
We have a couple more days. People are coming in from all the states of the Federation. Abuja is going to be agog with activities, with excitement, with electricity. And in all of that pomp and pageantry, we must make sure that what we come out of on Sunday morning, so to speak, is a happy, united party.
Well, still on party politics, Governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, says the All Progressives Congress, APC, will adopt consensus candidates at its national convention on Saturday. He added that the much-expected unity list proceeding from the wide consultations and consensus to pick party leaders would be ready soon. Governor Sule, who is the chairman of the National Convention Media and Publicity Subcommittee, made this known at the party's World Press Conference held at its National Secretariat on Friday. He also cleared the air on recent reports on political appointees being barred from being delegates at Saturday's convention.
We have mentioned over and over that as far as our party is concerned, we have all the three options in our own constitution. And the number one choice always in our party is consensus, because it actually creates a rancor-free convention. The reason being, all the stakeholders from the various zones will sit, agree, and all aspirants also will agree and sign off before you go into the convention. So our first choice is always consensus, and we are still on that first choice. However, democracy demands that if, even our constitution demands, and the constitution of Nigeria demands, that if that doesn't work, we'll go ahead and look at the other options. But right now, that remains our option number one. As far as the payment, refund of their funds, I also mentioned, earlier on, I think so many governors have mentioned, the party also has mentioned that clearly. Mr. President has said, in case of fairness, all those that have agreed, on this consensus, out of respect for the leadership of the party, should have their money refunded to them.
In the next 24 hours on Saturday, the 26th of March, the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, would be at last holding its national convention. Over the past months, the party has managed to overcome and resolve some of the issues that threaten the core of the party. After wide consultations, the party has agreed to adopt a consensus mode for electing key officials that will direct the affairs of the party at the national level. To discuss this further, political affairs analyst Nelson Ekujimi joins me now. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, the party has finally settled for former Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Adamu as consensus candidates for the post of national chairman. Now, are you concerned that the convention might only be a mere coronation?
Well, thank you very much. The truth of the matter is that a convention of a party, you don't expect them to come and wash their dirty linens in public on that day. You expect some sort of negotiation, some sort of compromises to have been settled before now. And if you listen to the gladiators in the party, the key stakeholders, they've made it very clear that consensus has been their most favorable option to be adopted. And like, I think it was the Senate President or Governor Abdullah Suli who said the convention would be first and foremost like, an affirmation or confirmation of, officers for the various elective offices. So I will not be surprised if it becomes a coronation. It is allowed in democracy that, people can agree even before the D-Day that, no, this is the way we want to go so that we have a rancorous-free, exercise. And for me, it won't be a surprise.
Now let's talk about the presidential ticket of the APC. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I think the truth of the matter is that, like we say, one step at a time. I think we should allow the party to conduct its convention. And after the convention, then will be the primaries of the party to determine who the flag bearers of the party will be at the federal level, as well as for other elective offices that the party will be throwing up, its candidates from among the various aspirants. So if consensus is being adopted now, don't be surprised when the time comes from the party primaries. Consensus might also be the way, to ensure that, there's less, hiccups in the process. So whatever method the party is going to adopt in choosing its presidential candidate at its primary, which will come up after this convention, it is not out of place if the party also adopts the consensus model.
Well, indeed, political affairs analyst Nelson Ekojimi, thank you so much for your contribution. The National Coalition Group has organized a 1 million man work for Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the Unity Fountain in Abuja on Thursday. The group believes that the Vice President has a track record that set him apart from other candidates vying for president in the 2023 general elections. While speaking at the gathering, the national coordinator of the group, Hyacinth Hova, believes Osinbajo has the capacity to rule Nigeria, adding that the Vice President has a clear vision for the nation.
Today, Nigerians have gathered here in Unity Fountain to celebrate a man of humility and character, a man who have perceived as having vision and the dexterity to lead the people of Nigeria to the next generation. A man we are very convinced that by the time he embarks the rostrum as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Nigerians will heave a sigh of relief and have a breath of fresh air.
Continuity is the best option, first of all. He is a vice president. It's better we have somebody that have learned than somebody that will come and start learning from the scratch. At least he knows the challenges now that we are having in this country. So we believe with him there, he will do his possible best to see that all these things are a thing of the past.
Nigeria right now is sick. We need a doctor that will heal Nigerians. And Osinbajo is the only doctor that can heal Nigerians because he has been tested and trusted.
The Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed a suit by the Attorneys General of the 36 states against the federal government. In the suit, the states are challenging the planned deduction of $418 million from the Federation account to settle debts owed consultants engaged by the states and local governments in relation to the Paris Club refunds. Justice Inyang Ekwo dismissed the suit in a judgment delivered on Friday, saying the Attorneys General have not shown enough evidence to accord them the right to institute the action. Justice Ekwo held that the contention of the plaintiffs that it was not a party to the judgment debt did not hold water because the Nigerian Governors Forum and the Association of Local Governments were parties in the suit. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it has suspended action on the court judgment ordering the sack of David Umahi and Eric Igwe, Governor and Deputy Governor of Ebonyi, respectively. The Commission, in a statement issued on Thursday, said the decision will also affect the court ruling sacking 16 members of the Ebonyi State House of Assembly. Earlier in March, Umahi, Igwe and the Ebonyi lawmakers were asked to vacate their positions over the defection from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress. However, the governor, deputy governor and the State Assembly members have appealed the rulings. Fire incidents are not uncommon in this part of the world, but what is unusual is a bridge whose underbelly has been transformed to a storage area for goods. This odd arrangement all came to a head on Wednesday when the gutted Akpombon Bridge, leading to loss of goods worth millions of naira. Our correspondent, Mojisola Matomi, who was at the scene of the incident, spoke to some of the warehouse owners who are now left to count their losses.
This is the Akpombon Underbridge market that got gutted down by fire in the early hours of Wednesday morning. Nothing within sight was spared as containers and goods worth billions of naira were destroyed. Some victims are seen scrambling through the rubble in an effort to see what they can find. So far, emergency officials have been able to put down the fire, but there are still traces of smoke in some areas. The Akpombon market, which has been in existence for over 40 years, happens to be the first touch for manufacturers to wholesalers. But now the incident has disrupted the free flow of trade, leaving traders who got affected to count their losses. One of the traders, 53 years old Rashidat Damole, who sells flour and sugar for a living, narrates the sad experience and how it affects her as a trader.
The fire started in the middle of the night. We don't sell cooked food here. We only sell flour, sugar used for baking bread. The fire caught us unaware. The government should please come to our aid.
Lamenting the situation of the economy, as well as the impact of the unfortunate incidents on their livelihood, some of the traders have called on the federal government to come to their aid.
We want the government to please help us. There's no place we can go. This place is a market, not a hiding place for thugs.
As a trader, you will affect because once people heard that there's fire incidents around, they will not be able to come to markets, and the sale will be so low. And people that buy, they will not be able to, take it to somewhere else. So it will affect the people in the market.
Contrary to rumors, the market leader says the fire outbreak was caused by an electrical spark and has assured that all hands are on deck in ensuring that instructions given by the federal and state government are followed.
We were told and warned no permanent structure must be put under the bridge. That's why we molded the little containers for them to use. So whenever there is anything, we could remove it easily.
Due to this inferno, a large portion of the bridge has been destroyed. As you can see, the middle portion has been damaged. To this end, the federal government has ordered the immediate closure of the bridge till an integrity test is carried out and has urged motorists to go through other routes in carrying out their daily activities. The federal and state government are unhappy about the inferno and have given traders whose business is located under the bridge 48-hour ultimatum to relocate to designated areas or face the consequences.
Nobody invited them here. All what they are doing is not known to the government or to the law. They came from somewhere because nobody invited them there. So they need to move. Let them move.
By March 31st, 2022, the task force will swing into action and will impound all Libyan elements that are found under all the 20 bridges across the state. The bridge, which has been in existence for over 50 years, has now been added to the list of other federal infrastructure to be repaired in Lagos State. Mojisola Matomi, TV360, Lagos.
We'll take a break here, but still to come. World Bank links dependence on oil exports as a major cause of Nigeria's frail growth prospects. Details of this story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. President Muhammadu Buhari has warned the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to avoid being used for partisan politics in its operations. The president also advised leaders and all operatives of the commission to resist the temptation of being influenced by political actors for personal gains. also told you that Governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, says the All Progressives Congress would adopt consensus candidates at its national convention on Saturday. He added that the much expected unity list proceeding from the wide consultations on consensus peak party leaders would be ready soon. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin, for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. The U.S. Census Bureau says the COVID-19 pandemic caused a natural decrease in 2021 in the population of nearly 3/4 of U.S. counties. The Bureau data show that more than 73% of U.S. counties experienced a natural decrease or an excess of deaths over births, up from 55.5% in 2020 and 45.5% in 2019. It also showed that the biggest loss of 159,621 residents was in Los Angeles County in California. Nigeria's COVID-19 infection rate has recorded a decline by over 65% in the past 1 week. This was disclosed by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo after the National Economic Council meeting. The Vice President, who was represented by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Laolu Akonde, explained that according to the reports from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control (NCDC), the nation's death rate has also reduced drastically.
There was an update on the COVID-19 situation by the NCDC. The presentation revealed the global situation and also revealed the situation in Nigeria. It was reported to the council that cases have declined in the past 1 week in Nigeria by, there's been a decline of over 65% in the past 1 week in Nigeria. Specifically, there were no deaths reported in the past week, according to the report from the NCDC regarding COVID. There was no death in the last 1 week. So even though the report said that there has been a significant decline in Nigeria of COVID, but that caution must still be taken. Two examples of the states were given where the decline has been significant, and that will be Lagos and Rivers State.
We'll take another break here, return with more stories and business. So stay with us.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not?
Welcome back. Well, Abisola Adebayo now joins us for more story in business and the stock market. Abisola, what's the latest?
Thank you very much, Folashade. Welcome to Business News. The World Bank says Nigeria's dependence on oil exports is the leading cause of the frail growth prospects of the country. In its latest report, the bank revealed that the development leaves Nigeria's economy extremely exposed to movements in global oil production and global oil prices. According to the report, in 2019, while oil represented just 10% of the country's gross domestic product, it accounted for more than 80% of Nigeria's total exports, adding that the weakening overall growth performance makes it significantly harder to reduce poverty and may also prevent any growth from being broad-based. The second Niger Bridge is one of the cardinal projects of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. This was the key statement made by the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, during the special weekly ministerial briefing at the State House in Abuja, where he revealed that the bridge was at 91% completion and on course to be completed this year. The minister also offered progress reports on key collaborations between the federal and state governments on the implementation of major reforms being executed by the ministry and the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund. Our correspondent Timisola Adigun brings in that story.
Improving public infrastructure in Nigeria is one of the focal points of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. To this end, Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola said the 11.59-kilometer second Niger Bridge is set for completion by the end of 2022. He, however, blamed the COVID-19 pandemic and the IPOB sit-at-home order for the delay in completion.
We have challenges. Just last week I was briefing about the challenges we are facing on the Anambra side of the second Niger Bridge, where people are being told not to go to work or to sit at home on Monday. So every day that we don't work there is time lost. So if you look at a 52-week year that does not start on a Monday, you will have probably 52 Mondays, so we will lose 52 days work, and that's a lot of work to lose on a construction site. On the second Niger Bridge, we are going to shut down power for maintenance, but that will provide us the opportunity to quickly replace all the transmission lines, because we have built and raised the level which is now dangerously close to the transmission line, so we have to reinstall them. So power outage will happen, I think, for about a week to 10 days. We're working with our partners in the Ministry of Power and also the GENCO.
The minister highlighted that the financing for the bridge was strictly by the federal government. He revealed that discussions are ongoing with interested private sector stakeholders for extra funding.
Right now, there's no private sector money in what you have seen, that bridge, not yet. The money that has come has been our investments from the dividend income that comes to government from his investments, and the money I told you President Buhari has recovered that was stolen from Nigeria. So it's government money so far. Invariably, they will, or we expect that they will, and invariably we intend to then concession the assets for better management and all of that. But that's further down the line.
Fashola also revealed that the main carriageway of the Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Expressway is scheduled for completion by the second quarter of 2023, before President Buhari leaves office at the end of his tenure. Simisola Adigun, TV360, Lagos.
We'll take a break now and return with a review of the stock market. The month of March has been quite unimpressive, as investors have had little or no reason to smile, with the bears showing off and maintaining dominance. The week pulled in a negative trading result with 3 days of bad trades, although at the close of today's trade, a slight 0.01% improvement was recorded. The All-Share Index also fell below the 47,000 mark for the first time since February 2nd, and with just about 62 kobo gains, PZ and J-Paul Gold were the top gainers for today. Reeling in the losses shaking the market, Nigeria Flour Mills and FCMB, alongside 16 other equities, recorded losses. And our market are turning our attention to the global market. These selected stocks, FTSE, Dow Jones and Nikkei, are all trading in the green at 0.17% and 0.016%. And for the 9th straight session, Japan's Nikkei witnessed its longest winning streak since September 2019, as market uncertainties have been removed, prompting investors to buy back stocks. That's why the Nikkei is trading at 0.14% at the close of today's trading. Well, that's all on Stock Market Report. Folashade, back to you.
Well, many thanks, Abisalam. Now, the foreign soon U.S. President Joe Biden has said that NATO would respond if Russian President Vladimir Putin used a chemical weapon in his war on Ukraine. Biden made this known after a NATO summit in Brussels. Biden explained that under his presidency, the United States has pledged $2 billion in weapons to Ukraine. He also announced a new commitment to more than $1 billion in humanitarian assistance, as well as promising to welcome 100,000 of the nearly 3.7 million refugees fleeing the country. Well, up next is Entertainment Reporter News Now.
Ghanaian actor John Dumelo has vowed to walk barefoot from his nation's capital, Accra, to Lagos if the Super Eagles of Nigeria beats the Black Stars in the 2022 FIFA World Cup playoffs. On his official Instagram page, the actor, who is now a politician, affirmed that there is no way Nigeria will win the match. The Super Eagles and Black Stars are set to play the first leg of their World Cup qualifiers before traveling to Abuja on Tuesday for the reverse fixture. Nollywood actor John Okafor, popularly known as Mr. Ibu, has disclosed that he is not seeking financial assistance from the general public. In a video shared on social media, Okafor appealed to those taking advantage of his predicament to desist from it immediately, adding that his situation is not as critical as they are talking about it. The movie star and comedian has been bedridden following an undisclosed illness. And that is all that we have for you in the entertainment segment of News Now.
Away from entertainment, now to sports. Nigeria is set to receive 5.6 billion naira from FIFA if they qualify for the Qatar 2022 World Cup later this year. The World Cup in Qatar will take place from November 21st to December 18, with 32 teams taking part in the competition. The Super Eagles are looking to qualify for their 7th World Cup appearance, but they are 2 games away from achieving that feat. And that's it on our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Bye for now.